Hi there, my name is Nathan Ball, Head of Game Design at AdInMo, and this is episode 11 of our InGamePlay Design Guide series. In this episode we'll be looking at how you can test the InGamePlay ads you've placed in your game, using features of the AdInMo SDK and Portal, as well as tried and true game testing techniques, to align your integration with the technical and artistic principles covered earlier in this series, and ensure the best possible combination of revenue and player experience. The first place you'll want to test your ad placements is within the game engine itself, before you update your game and make your integration live. Once you've placed your ads, you can turn on the AdInMo SDK's debug tools to monitor the performance of each of your placements during runtime. This is the easiest way to tell if a given placement is generating impressions or not. To access these tools, click AdInMo in the top level Unity menu, then click Manager in the drop-down. The debug window will not only tell you if your placement is generating impressions, but also the reason why it isn't generating impressions, if that's the case, letting you pinpoint the problem and quickly solve it. It's good practice to run through your levels a few times each with this tool enabled, to make sure that your placements are performing consistently. Remember that you can tweak the placement settings for each individual placement on the AdInMo portal, and it's a good idea to do so based on the feedback you get from your in-engine tests. If your impressions are failing due to not being large enough, you can either increase the base size of the placement, or change the placement fit settings on the placement to a looser option to allow larger ads in. This stage of testing is largely about performance, and making sure that your ads are working right and actually delivering impressions. The visual element of your placements is also key, but you can test that later on in the process. Once your placements are working in-engine, you'll want to trial them in a more realistic test environment, in a real build on a mobile device. Before you begin this testing process, however, you'll want to register each of the test devices you plan to use on the AdInMo portal. You can do this by selecting your game, then selecting Test Devices in the menu on the left. From here, click Add Test Device, and you'll be taken to a list of mobile devices that have access to your game. Choose the ones you plan to test with, and you're good to go. Registering test devices will let our support team provide you with more useful help and feedback, letting them factor in device model, etc. when trying to identify the cause of problems. Once your devices are set up, you can start running tests on real hardware. These will be more accurate and representative than tests run in-engine, since you'll be working with a final version of the game and using the real mobile controls, which can have a significant impact on player behaviour. Play the game through yourself and try to get other team members, as well as family and friends, to test it too if possible. This way you'll get the widest possible range of feedback, which you can then put into action to improve your integration. While you can view the performance of your game in terms of impressions on the AdInMo portal, this stage of testing is about iterating on the visual element of the integration and how it feels to the player. You'll want to ask playtesters questions about immersion and whether the placements you've added disrupt that at all. If you need to make any changes based on this feedback, it's best to start the testing cycle again and check the technical performance of your new placements to make sure they work. This will likely require a compromise between the ideal visual location and the ideal performance location, but if you can nail that balance, then your in-gameplay ads will provide you with significant incremental revenue at no cost to player enjoyment. That's all for this episode of InGamePlay Design Guide. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when we post new in-game advertising content. I've been Nathan Ball. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.